Welcome back to the SAS learning. Uh, in the last session, we have seen how to create a dataset, and we have seen basic functionality involved in reading the data lines using delimiter and some other concepts. Okay, today we are going to learn about how to read a dataset which is grouped by certain criteria, and to read the first occurrence of the group and read the last occurrence of the group. For example, we have in this particular session we have grouped the employees based on the technologies, like if they have unique skill set, if they know about Perl or shell scripting, they are grouped as Unix. So the first person we are going to read and what is his salary, and the last person what is his salary. So like that we are going to read uh, the first and last occurrences of the group. Second one, we are going to read, we are going to define format on our own rather than using the SAS predefined formats, which we have seen in the previous session. We are going to give our own format. Like for example, if we have a data with value M that stands for male and F that stands for female, like that we can create our own formats. And third one is we are going to see how we can merge the data in SAS. There are various ways in which we can do merging. We are going to see some three types, three such kind of types here. And finally, as we have known, the basic way to join, the basic way to display the content of data set using PROC print, we are going to see a few more details using uh, PROC contents. Okay, what exactly we can do with the PROC contents, that we will see today. So let's start our session today. So I have a new data set with employee salary. I have taken the employee numbers which we have used in the last data set itself. Let's run this particular code. Yeah, we got the data set created, and we have the base data set also. No errors. Same way here also, no errors. So I have two data sets now in the work, base data set and employee salary. Now, yeah, we know this basic functionality. Let's print how the data is there displayed, how we have read the data. Yeah, we got a salary in thousands of dollars, 116,000, 901.5 thousand. This is per annum salary. Now, as I have mentioned, we want to first categorize the data so that we can do a group functionality, like reading the first occurrence, the last occurrence within the particular group. So I am going to group against technology skill set here. So SAS, they are going to be grouped as SAS, J2E or Java, that is going to be grouped as J2E, mainframes as mainframes, and Unix, Linux or shell scripting, that is grouped as Unix. Here I have used select combination, select when the skill set, when the skill set is having SAS or these kind of keywords. So this select and when combination is similar to case statement in the PROC SQL. So in the data step, we can use select and when, but we can't use this case statement here. So I can't use case in data step. For that, we have an equivalent select. Okay, so that's a new learning today. Let's run this particular piece. We got it. Let's print it. That is easy to display when we are working with SAS Studio. PROC print is always the best. Yeah, we got it grouped as the SAS, Unix, J2E, and other, the non-technical stuff. One person, that is we have four groups here. So before doing any particular operation, we wanted to group any group operation. First, we have to see like how we want to group it. if I want to read the minimum, least salaried and highest salaried person, I have to group it uh, based on that particular group. Okay, here I want to see, instead of salary, I don't have salary here yet in this particular data set, as I have not used the merge. I have experience in years, so I want to see who is least experienced person and who is highest most experienced person. Least experienced and highest experienced. So I have to group it based on, I have to sort this based on experience in years. Let's print this. Yep, I got it now. Like, first one is Java J2E. 8 years is the least experience, and in other anyway only 1 2 years. And in SAS, least experience is just 1 year, and highest experience is 22 years. So finally, I'm going to get a data set. My intended result should be having four groups, one for each J2E, other, SAS, and Unix, and it should have two columns: the least experience and the person name, highest experience and the person name. How we are going to do it? Okay, as we have already grouped it and sorted it, we can give the same sort key in years. Okay, here whenever we, okay, one more, I just commented out one particular piece of line here. Let's see what we are going to get without this particular piece of code and after including this piece of code. Here in the each and every group, first, whenever this first skill group is encountered, I am going to capture the minimum experience, and it is the minimum experience in years, and the person name. Okay, but I am not writing anything here. In the next one, whenever there is a last record or observation is encountered, and we are going to capture his years, which is having the maximum experience in years within that particular group, and the person who is possessing that experience. And before writing it out using this output statement, I'm going to drop these two columns, experience in years and name. So instead of this name and experience in years, I'm going to have four columns: minimum experience, maximum, minimum experience of the person, maximum experience, and the person with maximum experience. The four new columns, whatever I have created, they are going to be there in my new data set I am creating. It is employee experience analysis. Let's run this. So I got four columns. Let's print this. PROC print data is equal to employee experience analysis. Yeah, I got the four observations as we have discussed previously for Java, other, SAS, and Unix. But if you see here, minimum experience and the person experience is missing, because by the time we read the observation with the maximum experience, are we going to have the minimum experience here? Because it's the, for example, in the actual data, if you see employee, what is the data set? Employee analysis. Okay, when we read this first observation, that is for Java, we have to have the experience as 8 years. By the time we read this last observation within this particular group, the first observation records will be overwritten. The experience in years become 21. The employee number becomes this one, and the name becomes Tumant. So by the time we read here and the right one, write the output, the experience in years we are not going to set here because the first dot skill set group, it is not met. So while capturing the first record itself, we have to capture this minimum experience and minimum experience person name and save it somewhere. That somewhere, that feature is provided using this retain, functionality. Okay, let's remove this comment. What retain does is, it does instantiate the variable. So whenever we are using minimum experience, by default the integer variable will be set to 0, and also it is going to be, the value is going to be retained even if we read the new observation, until and unless it is going to be reset in the particular data step. The value will be captured and it is going to be preserved until we ourselves go and reset the value. It will be there in the particular variable without disturbed. The same way, the for character strings, it is going to be set as a space, and the value will be retained until and unless we are going to touch it manually and change it. So let's run this code with after using the feature retain. Display the code again. Yes, now we got the minimum experience captured and the person having the minimum experience for each and every group. So the two columns are populated properly. So that's the use of retain. It's a very useful feature within the data step for doing these kind of calculations. Whenever we want to retain some value, when we want to uh, create something like we have to do a comparison with the previous records based on certain criteria and all, definitely we have to go with this retain functionality. Now our requirement is something else. Instead of, now we are introducing a new feature here, format. We are going to assign format to a particular column or field, and if you use it in the procedures like PROC print, the format is going to be a temporary format. But if we give this format to a data step, then the data set will be updated with the new format and it is going to be retained. But when we give it for the PROC print, let's see what exactly I mean. uh, First create the format. What is the format? I want something like, if a person is having 0 to 5 years experience, he is going to be considered as a junior in the company. And if his experience is 5 to 10 years, he is going to be considered as mid level. Senior, if he is having experience in between 10 to 12. 20 to anything greater than 20, he is a veteran. So rather than this, it creates ambiguity. If you see here, 0 to 5 and 5 to 10, 5 is there here and 5 is there here, so which one should be considered? So rather than having this ambiguity, 0, and we will give something like, so 5 will not be considered here. Anything less than 5 here, less than 10 and less than 20, that will be considered as the particular group. So 0 to anything less than 5 considered as junior, and 5 to anything less than 10 considered as mid level, like that it is. So let's create this format. Yeah, no errors. The results shows nothing. We are not going to display anything here. So we created a format, and the format name is industry experience. So we are going to assign this format while displaying the data for employee data. Okay, this employee data is what we have. I think this is the, no, we don't have the employee data. Yeah, we don't have the employee data. Let's display it for employee based data. Does it have experience? Yeah, employee based data. Let's run this code. Now, instead of experience, actual experience in years, I got the detailed description, whether he is considered as a junior in the company or a mid-level person, veteran, or a senior. So I got this likewise. So the PROC format adds some value to what the data actually we are having. Now, if you look at the data here, employee base data, still it is going to have the experience in years in numbers. But here we have used it for the purpose of displaying alone. So whenever we use it in PROC, we are not going to actually recreate this data set. So the format is not a permanent format we have associated with this particular data set. It's a temporary format. So when we create the data, actually whenever we create the data using a PROC or in a data step, and if we give this particular format, the output format, it is going to be associated with this particular data set, and then we can consider it's a permanent format that we have associated. The PDV, programmed PDV, it doesn't consist of the permanent format whatever we have created. Let's go into the further step. The last portion of our session today, it's a merge data datasets merge. How we can do the merging in SAS? We have two datasets now, employee base data and employee salary. I have to merge it so that the salary will be there in the base data now. Before doing a merge, actual merge with the data step, I have to sort the data. Now I have to use the key also. Employee number is a key, obviously. We are going to have the salary of this employee taken from employee salary, and we are going to add it to base data. So we are going to sort it on employee number. Let's sort both the data sets first. See the logs, no errors. Output data, yeah, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. This is the starting number. It is sorted appropriately, and the output we will see here, employee base data. Here also the same way we have sorted. 9 went last. Now we used a data merge option here. So merge dataset 1 and dataset 2. Next to the dataset we have given something, the flag, the base, and here we have given something else, salary. What is this in is equal to? Okay, in is equal to, it creates a flag. Okay, here the flag name is base. The base is going to be having holding two values, 1 or 0. Whenever we do a merge on dataset 1 against dataset 2 based on the key, if the dataset the merge is successful, okay, and the record is present in dataset 1, then the base value is going to be set to 1, and if the record is not present in 0, I mean in the second dataset, sal will be 0. Or if the record is present in second dataset but not in 1, then sal will be set to 1 and this will be set to 0. So it is going to hold only two values, 1 or 0, depending on whether the key is present in that particular dataset or not. So if we want to keep the records from both the datasets, from 1 and 2, okay, here we have to give something like if base and sal, that's it. Then the records from both the datasets will be present here. Let's do the merge here. and I'm going to drop, no, I'm going to keep employee number, name, skill set, and salary. These are the four fields that I'm interested in the final, the new data set that I'm creating as salary analysis. I got all the 18 records. So there are no records that are only present in either dataset 1 or dataset 2. So all the records I got, and let's print this particular dataset. PROC print data is equal to salary analysis. Run. Yes. So I got the salary appropriately. Let's verify the salary for one particular person. Hound. We'll see for Hound. Hound number is 76206, and he's holding 87k, 88k roughly. 76206, 76206. Where are you? Yes, roughly 88k. Yeah. So the merge is successful and is proper. Our validation is done. Now, do we really need to use data step here? I want to perform it using PROC SQL. How do we do? It's a simple join. Okay, join on employee number, where employee number is equal to uh, employee number from base is equal to employee number from salary data set, and I'm going to do the order by to get the exactly same values, because for the data merge portion we have sorted the data set based on employee number. To get the same result, I'm going to create the same salary analysis one more time. Let's just see the data set. Non-technical is first, and then finally John Snow record is in the last. Let's delete this salary analysis before doing it. How do you do? I wanted to show you this at the end, but this is the way. PROC datasets, and we are giving the library, and now I'm going to delete salary analysis. Remove all this and just give salary analysis and delete this dataset. That's it. Whatever the, it is going to show you what are the data sets that are present right now: employee base data, salary, employee analysis, and employee experience analysis. But I don't have the data set that I have deleted. I'm good here. Now I'm going to run this PROC SQL. Let us run this. As expected, non-technical record is having first, and finally the John Snow record is there at the end. And let us see, display this dataset one more time. Salary analysis, and which one we have seen for this one? Hound. Yes, roughly around 88k. So we are good. This is also working fine. The second option is PROC SQL. We are good over here. Now we have seen how to do the merge using data and merge option, and we have seen using PROC SQL a simple join. And now let's see a third option using PROC format. We learned about PROC format here. What we have done till now is just we assigned a new format, our user defined format for a particular column, and we used it to display in the output dataset using PROC print, and we displayed a dataset using the new format whatever we have created, the user defined format. Now we are going to see how this PROC format can be used in doing these kind of merges. The minimum criteria. Before doing that, let us assume we have two data sets. Usually this PROC format way of doing merge will be beneficial if we have a really big, huge data set, millions, more than bare minimum, if we should be having more than 1 million records. and then we will be able to get some beneficial results out of PROC format merges. So we should be having two data sets, and one should be having a minimal records, which we can call it as a small data set, and the second data set we call it as a huge data set. Let's call it as huge data set, whatever you want to call, you can call. So two data sets. The first one, using the first data set, we are going to create a format out of it. Okay, I will show you how to create the format, what are the minimum fields. So first data set we will be using to create a format, and that should not be having any duplicate values. Okay, if we have duplicates, the merge is going to fail. So that's the main criteria. So what I'm going to do, employee salary, let us consider this as a small data set. Anyway, both of our data sets are small, so let's consider and equal in size, because 18 records are there, 18 observation. I am creating I'm doing a sorting first. It should be sorted, and what is the based on the key. My key is employee number here, so let's sort this. I used an option here, no dupe key. Anyway, I don't have any duplicate employee numbers here, and force option forces this data set to be created forcefully. Okay, now I have created with the employee number. Employee salary is the data set that is created without any duplicates. So now I am going to create a format data set out of this employee salary. What are the fields, minimum fields that I should be having? It should have a label. This label is the output that gets out of it. Always label prints a character. Label returns a character format. So here, based on the key label start. Okay, these are the minimal fields I should have. Okay, start, label, and then type. Okay, start, label, type, and these are the minimal things I should have for a format file, which I am going to create using the small data set. Now I have a key option. We should be having a key, that is the one on which we are going to join the or do the merge. Okay, the label, as I said, based on the key, it is going to return the output. We can give a label like label is equal to match. If we are just going to find out that okay, based on the key we have a match over here in the bigger data set. So if we are going to perform something like that, then we can give label as match. So whenever the join is successful based on the key, and if it returns a label of match, then our join is our merge is successful, and the record is present in the bigger data set. But here I am giving salary. So whenever the merge is successful, that means the record is present in the small data set and also in the big data set, I am going to get salary all the time. So when it is successful, I am going to use the salary. So I am assuming that whatever are the records present in smaller data set, in the bigger data set, they are all present in smaller data set. If that is not the true case, then I am going to get different results. So if I am sure that whatever the key that I take, it's going to be present in small data set, then I will be getting the proper value in such kind of criteria. So when we are doing a join, and almost we know that for sure that the lookup doesn't fail, we can go for such kind of join here, where we can give the label as salary, or we have to go something like okay, we have to give match only if we are going to find out that if it is there or not. In such case, as I have mentioned, we can give match. We can do this trial and error based on the code here, but for now let us create this format file. So you're going to see here how the format file looks. Let us print this, that will be easy. Print proc print data is equal to format file. Okay, so the type is character because it is going to return the label is going to be returned as character, and that particular value is a salary. And actually I know I don't need salary, I can drop it. Okay, but I kept it here. And employee number is the key. Okay, this is a key. I can drop employee number and salary both. I can drop from this data set, but I kept it. And the start value is the key actually. Okay, we are going to consider this start value, and we will be getting label whenever we use this proc format. The new format we have created is my format. This is the format name. This is also a mandatory field. Let us assign this format using CNTLIN. Okay, what this will do is it is going to create the format for us. Let us assign this format. Format, my format has been output. So this is what the CNTLN does. The note displays that our new format is created. Now let us use this format to update the base data. Our main intention is to create the base data, create the base data with a salary. Here we have given something like salary analysis. So let us give the same name instead of creating it as a base data. Before that, just delete this data set. Yes, salary is deleted, salary analysis, and give the same name. Why to disturb the original data? Let us run this. Print salary. Which one we have seen previously. Now if you observe properly, my data actually, yeah, it is anyway sorted, but one bare minimum requirement is the data need not be sorted. Let us recreate this data one more time and we can do it. Let us create this base data set one more time, creating it, displaying it. If you see the employee number here, it is not in sorted fashion. 9 is first, 8 followed by 2, and again followed by 4, again followed by 2, something like that. So here I can give a here for this particular proc format usage, my dataset need not be in sorted fashion. Now let us run it again. Print the output dataset. Yes, the same order. It's not in the sorted order, but the same order my dataset has been created. Previously we have looked for 76206 in our analysis, and we have validated that the salary is almost equivalent to 88k. This is the same case. So our merge is successful. So we have seen today 3 ways of doing a merge. One using data and merge option, second one using proc SQL, and third one using proc format. There are different ways in which we can do proc format. Uh, we can use various options. Along with the start, we can have end to specify a set of ranges. There are different functionalities, various functionalities, which we will be seeing in further sessions. For now, today we have seen how to do the merge, how to use the proc format, create a temporary format, and we know how to create the permanent format, which you can try. And finally, proc datasets option, which we have used to delete a particular dataset. We can just simply display the properties of a dataset also. So that's all for today. Thank you. Signing off.